Okay, well, for now, we will not let this distract us from our main mission, which is talking about budgeting for car maintenance. Something that you guys need to be aware of is that while car breakdowns are emergencies and can be taken out of your emergency fund, regular car maintenance is something that you should budget separately for and does not include things like car payments or car insurance. Most experts say that you should budget between $50 to $100 a month for car maintenance, depending on the type of car you've got and how old it is. Obviously, if you've got a slightly older hoopty as a first car or whatever, then you need to budget a little more because things are liable to wear down more frequently on your car. But this money should be set aside in a separate account and allowed to build, because just because you don't use all of your car maintenance budget this year doesn't mean that you won't need some extra funds next year. And how much you need to budget, you can get some more precise numbers if you, say, add up the maintenance bills for your car from last year and then divide by 12 so that you can allow for it on a monthly basis, or actually call a mechanic and price things out for your car. My wife mentioned also something that her grandfather taught her, is that you should practice changing a tire on your car before you actually need to on the side of the road, especially if you've got a car that's new to you, something you recently purchased and never had to do anything on before. Also, I should mention, a good hot tip is that before you call a tow truck, if your car does break down, you might want to call your insurance company first. Many people have towing coverage on their insurance policy, on their car's insurance policy, and don't realize it, forget about it, and that's $50 that you could have saved. You're paying for it with your premiums, and many people forget to take advantage of it. Could save you, I don't know, $50 or more. On a car, there are certain wear items. Okay, there are things that are designed to wear out, and so you do know that you're going to need to replace them eventually. Things like tires, for instance, tend to wear out. They're only good for 3 to 4 years, depending on how many miles you put on them, and what kind of shape your car is in, and that could be $600 to $1,000. Brakes definitely wear out every 3 to 5 years, especially your front brakes, which do 80% of the stopping of your car. And depending on whether you're a do-it-yourselfer like my family, or whether you take it to a mechanic shop, that could be $150 to $600. A battery is another item that a lot of people forget about, but boy, it reminds them come wintertime. That's when they always tend to go out. And those really tend to last 3 to 5 years. My wife's car actually surprised us. She's got a special battery in her car, some sort of glass pack battery. Only has a life expectancy of 3 years, and we were not quite ready for that replacement cost because it had just been done before we bought the car. A few other things that kind of go without saying is oil changes. Oil changes, it depends on whether your car takes conventional oil or synthetic as to what exactly the price will be. And whether it takes conventional or synthetic also determines how often your oil needs to be changed. Conventional oil breaks down faster, needs to be changed out more frequently. So oil needs to be changed every 5 to 10,000 miles, depending on whether, again, you have conventional or synthetic oil in your car. And whether you're doing the oil change yourself or taking it to a shop determines how much that's going to set you back. Could be anywhere from $35 to $125 or more. And lastly, one of the other things that people tend to forget about is windshield wipers. Windshield wipers really only last about 6 months to maybe a year if you keep your car in a garage and it's not exposed to sun. Remember, sunlight dries out rubber real bad, and so wipers lose their effectiveness over time. And that's something that unfortunately is getting kind of pricey these days. You're going to have to factor that into your maintenance budget. But these are just a few of the items that I thought of, guys. Today is a little bit light, but if you need help with budgeting for car repairs, if you want some suggestions, if maybe you want to discuss some options that I might have forgotten that you've had to deal with recently, hit me back with those. You can leave it for me here on Twitch or Xbox. You can drop it for me at fustyandfinance@gmail.com. As always, you can leave it in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube.